Janet. Thank you very much. And how are you? How are your life in Israel?
Thank you. The rain came last night with a thunderstorm, and it's beautiful because, like, somebody turned a page and there's a new season in the air. So it is so beautiful. Only nature
Really?
speaks today, so it's beautiful. And how is it with you? How is the weather today?
Oh, yesterday was a very hot day. Very hot. Was very hot, and we need the air conditioner because it's impossible to be uh, above the sun because it
Yes.
was very hot. And then at night uh, the rain came
Yes.
and it was beautiful. It was beautiful also. It was a very beautiful night, and today it's a cloudy day, but it's a beautiful day, and I'm very happy at it. It's good to be here. It's nice time. We
Thank
are
you.
living
Thank you.
nice times.
Thank you so much. Good to hear that there's a warm day in Brazil after a long winter and flood. So it's good to hear.
Yes.
And Jill is here. Good morning, Jill. We're very happy to see you here. Thank you, Rodrigo. Jill, you can unmute and say something if you wish. We're wishing everybody a very good week. A new startup now. There's a new week. And from Shabbat to Shabbat. Yes? Yes, you're here. 1 second. Yes. And Yanis is here. Very good here. Yes, Jill, you can unmute and speak. I hope you can find it.
Hello,
Hello, good morning. How do you do?
I'm good. How are you both?
We are very
How's
happy.
everybody?
Good to be here with you.
You too. You too.
How is the weather today, Jill? How is your week? How is the everything opens now on Monday?
It's going to be a busy week, but I mean, it's starting out. The sun is out. The sky is perfect blue. The trees are still turning. It's going to be a good week.
Good. Good to hear you. Good, good.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. And good afternoon, Abigail, and good evening, Yanis. We're very happy that you're here. Very happy. And since there is we mentioned this week structure, there is a verse from the Bible that says from the world to the world. Me'olam ve'ad ha'olam, from the world to the world. And this is not just new planets, yes? From the world, every week in a way, or every 7 days, or every portion of 7 is a world. Yes? Every portion of 7 is a world. So from world to world is not just traveling between planets, those are new systems. We don't really catch it sometimes, but each week, let's start with a week because this is easy to conceive. Each week is a unit of life of its own, a world. Each week. So in a way, when we're traveling or moving, so to speak, though it is illusion, between week to week, yes, there is a movement, yes, from world to world. The world, in a way of the last week, does not exist. This week exists. The next week is in the future. Do you understand? So this world or this week exists, or this moment in present. Do we understand this notion? This week is what exists. And this is a world. In a way, the previous world, the last week, does not exist. And the next week is not yet to arrive. And we don't know if we shall be there. Yes? So what exists is only this week. What is in front of, this moment. The moment could be a moment or this week. It doesn't matter, but this is a world. It is a world. And in a way, there is a traveling from world to world. First, from week to week. Yes? Yes. Yes. And first, there is a movement between week to week, because in what we experience or what have been going through us last week does not exist at all. And there's a new page, and a plain or empty page, and this is this week and this moment. There is not even a scratch in the notebook. It's like a white page, nothing has been done. And we are not historical figures, meaning we are being born right now, like this moment, like this week is empty. Even if maybe people have plans or meetings that they're supposed to attend, let's say this week or so, or arrangement, still, this is a virgin moment. Yes, it is empty moment. This is a virgin moment. This is being. This is why, in a way, when they speak about the birth of the Messiah, it's not a birth of a person. Yes, it is a birth of a moment. And a new birth can only come from a virgin moment. What is a virgin moment or second is a second or a moment that is not known to us. It's like a clean page. There is no letter on it. Nobody knows. Yes? And the Messiah, not again. Or the salvation is in the moment. What does it mean? Because there is no previous me. There is no historical me. There is not persona. Persona in Greek is a mask. There is no me and mine. This is all is a construct of the brain. This is an alternative picture that our brain always suggests to us as if it was the real world or the real life, but it ain't. So again, every week, in a way, we are moving from world to world. What used to be the previous world or the last week does not exist. We cannot find it anywhere. Shalom, Fernando. Good morning. Very happy to see you here. So the previous week does not exist. With the meetings, with the constructs, whatever happened in the drop, in the moment, and we have only this moment or this week to attend. And in a way, we are not historical figures. What does it mean? Sometimes we walk in the neighborhood, in the boulevard, and there's now autumn coming, and there's a remembrance of previous autumn, how it used to be. And the brain will always offer us a parallel picture in the past that will be an alternative to what is happening now, suggesting us like the serpent. Yes, the world of duality. Yes, now there is a moment of autumn here. There's a rain, the trees are changing their leaves, but there's a previous moment that you were attending as, yes, experience. Immediately the brain comes, and it's so fast, and offers an alternative picture or a memory or remembrance from the past. And this is in a way duality. The temptation is huge in a way to drag us to a moment, to a position that does not exist. And this is the temptation in a way that always the brain offers to us. Some people say people's head, they have different terminology, but it's the same thing. The brain offers us an alternative picture from the past to seduce us, and I repeat, to seduce us, yes, to consider an parallel thing that we shall visit, yes, in the brain, another moment in the past that does not exist, and being perceived from this moment, there is a deceit on deceit. This is what the brain does. It's a very fast machine, like social media of our times, algorithm. Yes, this is what it does. This is how computers work. So imagine somebody's experienced autumn innocently, breathing the air after the rain, and immediately the brain comes, because it's a great slave, and he says, you know, few autumns ago, you also experienced autumn, but you were different. You were at this house living, you were living in this neighborhood, you were working, and immediately we are, withdrawn to a completely visionary, imaginary scenario that the brains offers us, like it is a real world, like it really exists, and all the figures there in the previous school, in the previous office, all them appear suddenly in the mind, and suddenly we are living in this moment, yes, and we are being dragged to all kinds of drama that happened in the office, and what happens? We are not present in the moment. This is the seduction, yes, that the brain does. Yes, someone experiences a beautiful moment, listens to music, wow. Listening to a new album, wow. And immediately there is a great, sense of listening to this, something opens inside, and immediately the brain comes and says, you know what? You never responded like to this music before, like you are in a way having this moment now. You have never been like fully present in the past when you were listening to albums, like musical albums. Your comment was different. Immediately comes a seduction, yes, and drags us, yes, to, so to speak, parallel moments, parallel pictures, yes, that we shall not be in a way in the moment of the happening, will offer us parallel pictures in the past, offering and implying and enforcing that we are historical figures. Because if we, seduced, and we take this temptation of something that happens in the past, and we are immediately there, because it speaks about us, so to speak, about this persona. So it's interesting for the persona. How was I 2 weeks ago or 3 months ago? And immediately we are withdrawn as a persona to another moment which does not exist, and we are living a demonical life which never been existed. Yes, and this is the temptation of the brain. This is what it does all the time, preventing us from what? From being in the moment. Because being in the moment is free. Being in the moment, it means we were never being born. This is the meaning of being. We were never being born. But the brain will always seduce us, yes, and offer parallel pictures. But you were there in this party 1 week ago. So you, as a persona, you were there. So you historical figure. And immediately comes a full script. And suddenly we're living somewhere else, in a different page, in a different land, yes? And we have persona, and we have relation, and it's not. But this is what the brain does. Always drags us to parallel rooms, to parallel periods of weeks or months, in, so to speak, in time. Or sometimes it drags people to the future and offers them like great scenarios in the future. Of course, none of those are happening. Not the scenarios of the past and not the scenarios of the future. What is existing is this moment, and this moment is in a way virgin. Like this, like the breath that we take. Every moment there's a breath. This is virgin. This is the meaning of virgin moment. And everything can happen. Questions or thoughts or things to share, you are most welcome. Just one thing to remember, that the brain is, in a way, is a slave. This is mechanical happening, but the slave always speaks to us like it's our master. Yes? Because once we say that there is a slave, we are implying that there is a master. So this is duality. Yes, yes, that's true. That's true, Jill. Maybe Fernando wants to speak about that. Yes, yes, yes. That's correct. It happens when people are usually invested or all the time sees this room or scenario that their brain is suggesting to them. So they eat this biscuit over and over again, and always, like once we were learning with one of those guys that he had yes, what you are describing. Yes. And he was a veteran of one of the wars. And all the time something happened and he was suddenly a different person. He was there, so to speak. Because the temptation is big, yes, to go. Because there's like horrible thing happens in the brain. This war and this time and this place, and only there is life, because there's also death. And so this is the world of duality. That's, you're right, Jill. Yes. It is interesting because some people can go through horrors, so to speak, in the language, without going into details. But since they are not taking this bait, they are not eating this bait of the brain that you were gone through horrible things, though it might be horrible on paper but they don't eat this food. So they live every moment like virgin, like fresh. They don't take into account those experiences as a minus on their personal life or something like that. Some people, and I read, there was a lady, she was American, yes, officer, she was a pilot. And she was in Iraq, they were fighting there. They were located, American power were located there, and they took her plane and other things they did to her as a lady. And when everything was over and she returned to the state, she admit this is what happened to her. Hello, Ogbay. She admit, but she never bought into it. She said this is what happened to the body, and because people say this is what happened to the body, so to speak, what happened to me. So she said, this is what happened. She had to also give a report to the army because those things are quite ordered. But she never bought into it. She never bought into it, and she never had this post-traumatic disorder. Yes. She never bought into it. So you can see that some people go through horrible things and they don't buy into it. And some people have like scratch and they immediately into it and what people did to them and so on, and there's no measure at all. And those who are buying into it, they are in a way living in their own jail. Entertain themselves that this is life, and they are having this experience, and they are most of it, they are the owner of this experience, and nobody has or can have such an experience like that, like them. And this is why they're suffering and they cannot live life. Nobody has experienced life like they did. Yes, and they live in their domain, in their jail, and they absolutely know about everything, and you cannot speak to them. They don't have a space for conversation because they're always like invested in this memory, yes, of holding, and I'm the owner of this experience, and I'm the owner, yes, of what happened, and so on. those things are really not existing. If people are not, how do you say, attached to those things, people can still share experience, but without the attachment to the experience. So they say, okay, I saw a storm, or I was in a storm, but without the emotional attachment to the storm or what happened in the storm. But people with a tendency of cleaving into something solid, which is basically an information, will never let it go, and they will get stuck and not move in life. Just one sentence about moving from world to world. From every Saturday or so, there's another week which is concealed under the seal of the seventh seal, and then every 7 is a world, and there's a movement from world to world. But not just in the terms of weeks. Also, it happens in the terms of weeks. Yes, 7 weeks, and so 7 years, and so, yes, and also 7 or Jubilee. Jubilee is also a structure of 777, because every 7 years the land has to rest. So this is the meaning of Shemitah, to let go for the land. There's no cultivation. Like we rest in the 7th day, there's also rest for the land or for the earth in the 7th year. So there's a Shemitah. In 7 Shemitot, 7 cycles of letting the land rest, is Jubilee. And then there's a movement from world to world. All humanity in a way moves to another world, maybe people without noticing, yes, but this is how it goes. Every world, in a way, has a dimension of 7. Yes, Yanis, did you want to ask something? Rodrigo, Jill, Fernando, Abigail, Ogbai, did you want to ask, to say something, to share? Please feel free. Every day there is a notion of we are living in a new moment. Yes, there's a new page. And this is quite amazing. Quite amazing. Because there's a sense that we have never lived before. There is a sense that every moment is new. It's not again and again the same thing. When people are stuck, or when we are stuck, there's a sense of the same thing is happening again and again. But when we are not being, when we don't develop attachment to things or experiences, it does not exist. Yes, Ogbai, how can we separate from the past? Yes. Yes. Yes, the English, what can we do about translations? We always said that there is a being and there's a translation or interpretation. So the other Bibles, they're just translating or interpreting the Ha'olam world. Yes? Because why, Yanis? Olam, a world, comes from Ne'elam. Ne'elam, it means hidden or mystery. Olam, again, this is quite interesting. It's good that you asked those questions. Olam is not just a world in English. Olam comes from Ne'elam. Ne'elam is something which is hidden, unknown, or in mystery, or in mist. So when we said that every week we are moving from world to world, yes, it's not just, let's say, from planet to planet physically. No, we are moving from a world that we lived, let's say, last 7 days, to a new world which is yet in mystery for us, because no one knows what will happen in the next moment. Olam comes from Ne'elam, meaning it's still in mystery. It's still under the veil. It's not known to us. Another word that will help you to see the word Olam as a mystery. Young men, also young lady at their teens, in Hebrew, Elim. Elim is a young man, let's say about 17. Elim. Why Elim? From Olam, from Ne'elam, from mystery, because, and a girl is Alma. It's not a girl, but a young, let's say 17, 16-year-old kid, Alma. Why? Why in this age, yes, 17 or 16 or 15, they are being called Elim and Alma, or this stage of teens called Alumim, because they are still not, their lives are still in the, how do you say, in their potency. It's not revealed what will come out of them or through their lives. So the boy, he is called Elim because his life is still mystery to him and to people who are close to him, or to the world. And she, the young, let's say, lady, is called Alma. Alma with hay, because also everything is still hidden, is in a mist. We don't know which kind of, let's say, qualities their lives will bring, what kind of skills, relations, everything is still unknown. So the young, let's say, man is called Elim. It's not known. It's not really clear what will come out, or what kind of life will stream through this mystery, because they're still in mystery, like a child, like a baby. Why people have babies, yes? The baby has a name, but all his life yet is still in a mystery. They're not revealed. Nobody knows how life will stream through him. So again, Olam from Ne'elam, meaning hidden or in mist. So, and Elim is a young guy, which his life is not yet unfolded or open. Everything is in a mystery for him. Also Alma. Everything is still, life is a mystery for her. And every week we are moving from world to world. Let's say, if we look at the last week, some people can say, okay, last week this and that happened, because they know, because it occurred already. But this world or this week is only beginning, and we don't know. So this world is unknown. Therefore, olam. Olam. From ne'elam. From hidden or mystery. Let's say someone takes an airplane and he lives in Japan. Yes, and he goes to the States, to New York. It's the first time, let's say. So when he leaves the airplane, he will come to a new world. Not just new continent, but life which is not known or familiar to him. This is why people like to travel or to go for vacation to places which are not known to them. It's not just the place which is not known, is a different world. People live there differently. In a way, if we take the word Elem, which is a young guy, and we open the letters, Me'al. It is above, Me'al, Me'al. In a way, the life is above him as a potential, as a flame, but it's not yet manifested. This is why the young man is called Elem. It's not even a man. It's like 16, 17, 15. Yes, is called Elem because there is not yet a manifestation. Yes, there's like a torch, yes, above, but it's not yet to be seen or to be experienced because everything is already there. It is hard or difficult for us to accept that everything is already there, but this is how it is. Questions or thoughts? It's not something that we do Ogbai, the separation from the past. It's not something that mechanical, but just losing interest and losing interest and attention. Don't think about it. If you lose interest in something, it's not existing. Yes, if people are visiting a room in their attic, in their head, that says that here there was a catastrophe, let's say, and there was a flood. Yes, and if you are there thinking, so there will be again this experience. But if you lose interest and attention in this happening or in this room, it does not exist. We are built, in a way, Yanis, we are built as machines. We don't like to look at it, but look how the system of nature works, not even human body. It just works. This is a program. Yes, we don't think about it, but every moment new cells are being created in us. Gladly, we don't have to agree about it. It just happens. Also the breathing happens. And therefore also thinking happens or occurs all the time. But we are not the creators of our thoughts. Again, we are not the creators of our thoughts. Yes? We are not the thinker of the thoughts. There is a thinking moving through us. Yes? Thinking is moving through us. But we are not the thinkers. Why? Because also we are not the doers. The brain will always offer us that we are the doers, we are the makers, we are the feelers, because the ER in English connects us to a personality. There's one figure inside it in charge of everything, take responsibility. It's not true. It's not true. So again, there is a thinking, yes, but we are not the thinkers. So thinking occurs or happens through us, but we are not creating the thoughts. And if you notice that you are in unwanted arena in terms of thinking which is happening, just lose interest and intention in this. And you will find yourself interested in other topics or other worlds to visit. Let's say from the experience of Israel, because we were taught all the time there was Holocaust and Holocaust, they pumped into us all this, so to speak, memory. So the more people are speaking about something which is not positive and invested in it, they will live this kind of reality. But once you're not thinking in this direction, you're not there. Or people who go through car accident or something, or all kinds of things, unpleasant. So if the brain, and the brain is a machine, will offer us all the time to visit in this movie. But once you lose interest in watching this movie again and again and again and again, not to mention this movie causes you suffering, so you lose the intention in this movie and you move on, and there's so many things and worlds to live in. Today there was a rain, or there is a rain. So we saw somebody's taking, how do you say, his bike and taking a surfer, yes, and he goes to surf. And this is the world, yes. To lose interest, yes, you don't have to do anything else. You just dry this, you don't nourish this illusion, yes, with the blood of illusion. As Yanis asked me a very good question about Dhamma Azaya. Yes, there is a beautiful verse. Yes, this is the blood of illusion. There is a description about in the Bible how there is a sacrificing of the bull and what the Kohen has to do to sprinkle the blood on the altar, and so in English it's to sprinkle the blood, because it's translation. But in Hebrew, this is Dam HaHazaya, the blood of the illusion that something exists. Yes? So why do I connect this to Felipe's comment, to lose interest? Because once we are thinking about something, an image or experience, the thinking is just a process that moves through us, but engaged in a way, they're sending signals through the blood system and everything gets pumped, like you see a movie. And the more intense the experience, the more blood will be pumped and throw itself to this moment. Yes. So if you just drop it and lose interest in it, there is no urge, there is no danger, and the body will rest and not take it as existing moment, and will stop sending signals of blood like it's a real tragedy. Yes? Yes, Felipe.
Hi, Yeti.
Hi, good
Can you
morning.
hear
How do
me?
you... Yes, good morning. Happy to hear you and the birds.
Oh, yes, Yeti. We are in vacation times
Good.
and we are in a good place here. So I was just thinking that sometimes it's difficult to lose interest in, because even we are in stressful or bad situations, let's say emotional situations, we feel like we are victims. We feel like we are injustice, and this feeling is something, we tend to attach ourselves, even though we are suffering, we make something of it, and we make big deal of this many times, even with any kind of emotional uh, issues, and to drop it as it is, like the solution of it, just drop it. It's very, very hard because we are attached, even though it's hurting us. And this is why human beings are insane. We can harm us, we can harm ourselves emotionally, and uh, yeah, we do this. So it's just to say that it's almost unbelievable why it is difficult to drop something that is harming us, but it is.
Yes, because it gives, thank you, Felipe, for the question, because it gives us the sense of identity. Even suffering, yes? Even connecting to a not good,
Yes,
yes?
yes.
So it creates identity. Identity is like to have, how do you say, to freeze in time. Because no one of us has any identity. This is a constructed reality that was constructed around the birth of bodies. It doesn't really exist. Because the question is, and this is very simple question. Let's say someone lives even 120 years, even 400 years, experienced different periods in history, lived in different continents. Even he lived 400 years. And he went through different relations and moments in life and seasons. He saw nature in different appearances. Even 400 years passed. And in a way he moved. In English, he passed away. Where all of what he went through gone? Where is it? Where? The more, where is last week? Where is it? Where is the last month? Where is it? Do you remember any thought that you had last week? Any sentiment? Any differences in temperature? We don't. But somehow the brain collects like temporal details or random details and enforcing this scenario or this story as defining who we are. And we are taking this temptation and we eat it. And we believe that the story or the frame that the brain offers us, this is who we are, but it's not. We don't have any identity. Yes, Rodrigo, you mentioned Elem, Olam, Ken. Is there any relation between these concepts, world, Amalek? They're almost the same, right? Yes, in certain letters, yes, but Amalek is something else that lives just in order to destroy everything. This is Amalek, lives to destroy everything. This is what the Bible says, don't mercy about those people, Amalek. Remember what Amalek did to you, and not to have mercy, because this is the abuser. There is no need to mercy such a thing. So they seemingly are sharing the same letters, but Amalek is something for itself. Weinreb, by the way, speaks about Amalek broadly. Yes. People without they're living only the bodily life. Yes, only the manifestation, not the source. And about identity, this is quite interesting because this is what all the time, let's say in politics, this is what drives people really not good direction, because everything builds on, how do you say, identity politics? Everything sits on identity. And then another tribe hates the other tribe, and another gender hates the other gender, and so all the politics and all the disturbances in the world comes from identity. It doesn't matter even which or what or when, but it's not real. It is not real. When I don't know if it happened to you, when the interest, let's say, in identity or me moves or dropped or slowly is fading out, we notice how little is this critter. Whenever we have ideas about things, or we have some kind of an identity or what defines us, we grew here and in this place or something, family story, and so we go to the world with a sense of there is a persona here because this is what defines me as A, B, C, D. But when those things are slowly fading out, and it happens slowly, and you say, wow, this one is like little critter. You just live the life. I don't know how to explain it, but I can only share that the moments that I had the notion had me as an identity, as part of this, let's say, narration, immediately offers that there is a persona, and there is like this persona needs, how do you say, an armor. So the thought itself, yes, also makes us very big, even if we don't have a bigger dimension in reality, yes? But once slowly this is fading out, the sense of any kind of identity, any kind. There's another critter here that walks here and for a while, and then not. And this is it. All the rest is just, how do you say, there's the seduction or the temptation that there isn't, because there isn't. And once it comes, yes, there's a hearing of this, or acceptance of this. Nothing is heavy, and you don't have the burden of history or family drama or narration or suffering. So there's another life here. Yes, there is something, yes. This is why this question from, I think, Cindy, that Jacob was struggling with the entity, yes, in the river. Vayavik ishimo, Vayavik ish, man. The English translate ish as a man. But ish, man, comes from yesh, there is entity. So he was struggling with some kind of entity. Yes? Entity, not it was something. Entity with the sense of there is something, materia. But this is only the manifestation. In the manifestation, there is a sense of there is a building. You see the building. You say, there is a building, yesh binyan. But when the municipality decides to take this building because there's not many children attending this school, they come with the tractors or whatever equipment, and there's tuk. There is no building. So there's only space and trees and and the wind is moving between the trees. You can breathe. So the space is the same space. But before the destruction, there was a building, there was a material entity occupying the room or the street. And after they took it, just air and eucalyptus and beautiful weather, and you see the sky. It's the same space. The same space exists in the parents. Yes, there are friends, or suddenly there is appearance of a new life, of a new baby. So the baby appears in space. Yes, but the same space was also before the baby was born. There's just at the moment appearance of the baby in the space. But the space is a space. Also us. Before we arrived here as body, there's a space. Nothing is lacking in the space. There's just appearance in the background of the space. And when people are passing away, this ish, yes, or this, let's say, the brain that delivers the body all the senses and the colors and identity. When people are passing away, where all of this is gone? Where can you find it? People go to cemetery to remember others, yes, because the bones are there, buried. Yes, the bones, yes. But where is this me sense? The person is gone. I mean, his bones are buried. But where is this, the narration? Where is it? This experience of rain of this person, the experience of the summer, the experience of spring, where is it? Where is it in us? Yes, Yanis. What the brain offers us as a script or as a scenario of our life. Yes. Yes. World ended. Very good. The world ended. This is what the sages are saying. Adam, human equals Olam. Yes? When this Adam is moving on, not yet to exist, also the world is moved with him. The world as he knew it or recognized it is gone. What is like the data deleted? Once one loses interest in this personal data, which does not exist anyways, you lose interest in telling yourself, this is the story, I live here, I was born there, I belong to this family. Yes. It is interesting because when you visit the family members, it is this experience. It's quite interesting that you mentioned that. When people are meeting the family members so often, it just enforces the identity. It's not easy biscuit to swallow, yes? But the more people are meeting their families, it just, in a way, how do you say, enforces the identity. Yes, Adam, Olam. Yes, Adam, yes, Adam hu Olam. Adam, every human is a world. Adam equals Olam. Every human being is a world. What does it mean? because there is no man in the world. There is no linear. Yes? Every human being is a world. Every human is a completely, entirely world. Everything is there complete. There is a seeing, there is hearing. Everything is there. In every human being, there is a holiness of a world, complete world. It doesn't matter of if she or he are presidents or she or he are teachers or so. It doesn't matter what they do in their occupation, in their age, if it's a baby, if it's a child. It's a completely world. It's a complete world. We look at the world and we say, okay, there are 5 continents. This is how we see the world. You say 5 continents, there's ocean. This is the world. Yes? The sages are telling us that every human life, doesn't matter what age, what occupation, and so, narration, is a world. Is a complete, entire world. Just take one person, one human's life, wakes up in the morning from a dream, then forgets it, goes to the shower. It's a world. Each one, it's not just that I am waking up in the morning. There are 8 billion people now waking up in the morning, showering, moving to their lives, remembering dreams, don't remember dreams, eating something, drinking coffee, tea. Is a world experience, a flower experience, an airplane. It doesn't matter if this one is interested in flying airplanes, or this one is a painter, or the other one is a tailor, and this is her world, yes, or weaving wool. It doesn't matter, or growing corn is a world. He or she wakes up in the morning, see the sun, then experience high noon, and then afternoon. It's a world that they experience. It's not that, do you understand, Felipe? It's a world. He or she feels 4 seasons. There's sometimes sadness of losing the leaves or forgetting things. It's not just the tree loses its leaves, also us in a way, shading out or leaving behind unwanted or unnourishing experiences. Yes, it's not just that autumn exists only in outside of the window, or spring. This is also in us. The 4 seasons are in us. So every man, every human is a world. Every child is a world. It's completely a world. They can experience sunrise and sunset and songs and colors and art and fresh wind from the ocean, and have the same, a beautiful experience from, even a storm is a beautiful thing. And this is not, every human is a world. It's entire. And when I say world, I repeat it, not in terms of oceans and continent, how we see this in a flat way. What is a world? Ne'elam, hidden. So every living one, human, is every day or in each and every breath experience unknown moment to a known moment. This is the world. This is why every man is a world. Because every one of us comes from the unknown to the known. And again, the next moment comes unknown, and we experience it as known. And this is Olam Ne'elam. There's the swing. You know this music called swing? Yes, there's a swing. Olam Ne'elam. So the swing is always also in us. Between Olam, world, and Ne'elam, mystery. Revealed and concealed. Revealed and concealed. Is that clear? Felipe? People sometimes have this notion, oh, again, this life, this heaviness to go to work, because this enforces that I know what life is. Yes? Nothing can be new to me. I cannot experience new moment because there is a sense of, I know. This is why everything is tiring and exhausting. But the sages are telling us that the world, as a world and as Adam, is a mystery. We don't know what's going to happen in the next moment. Not to us, not to others, not in nature. Every human is a creation. Every human is a creation. Kol Adam, every human, hu bria, is a creation. Every human being is a creation, not just Bereshit bara Elohim, and God created something in the past as people read the Bible. No, every human, every moment is a creation. There's inhaling, exhaling. Something comes from the hidden to the manifested. Every man, every human is a creation. Every moment comes through her or him a new creation, a new moment that he or she did not experience before. It is only the brain that prevents from us to see the real happening. And the real happening is every moment there is a new creation, and this is a mystery, being ourselves reality. And this is a great mystery. And therefore Adam is Olam. Adam, human, is a mystery. We are the greatest mystery. We are the greatest mystery. Is that clear? We are hidden from ourselves. Therefore, we are ourselves mystery. We, in a way, people start the day, they start maybe the TV, I don't know what they do, the phone, whatever, radio broadcast, and and bombard, how do you say, bombing from each corner, this is happening, But if you don't do this mechanically in the morning, you see that we are ourselves mysteries or realities, depends on how you look at it, because we don't know what's going to happen in the next moment. What is the context of new creation? A new breath? The fact that there is a renewal of the breath, of the human breath, not just human, but cats and nature. The fact that there's in the next moment there's a new breath, it means a new creation. It's not for granted that we shall have the next breath. This is a fact that we don't take into consideration. It's not for granted that we shall have the next breath. It's not for granted. Therefore, every breath is a new creation. Every moment you can do something, not do in terms of doer, something else can happen. Every moment, every split of a second. It is what happened is that people shattered and blocked themselves from this because they always thought, let's say the TV is running or radio or YouTube, something is happening in the background like running. And there's like intended block to block ourselves from living this mystery. But this is a mystery. You don't know that Just to give you an example, what is a mystery? A new creation, Yanis. Saturday night, 8 o'clock in the evening after the class here. Trying to rest, I was, and I noticed that from the window there's like blinds, and there were coming like lights from the streets. It was 8, dark, but it was nice that the light that went through the blinds, they created a notion of a ladder on the wall, like one there's light and there's a shadow and light like a ladder. And people were speaking outside. They said, oh, nice to hear people speaking on the benches, because for a long time there was no life on the street because of the war. So, wow. So you see this light, just like moment in nature, and you hear people. And suddenly, a sound that I never heard in my whole really life. And I called Andre, and he didn't understand what is happening. I shouted his name. He said, what's happening? And I said, come into the security. It was the first time that the rockets were launched and heard in the air before the siren came. And it was so violent attack. It's the sound of the rockets in the air sounds so violent that I just shouted, because the body, the biological system says somebody's to get you, to kill you. This is a threat about life. And Anna says, what? I said, I heard the attack because the sonar, the how do you say, the protection sirena did not work. They were delayed. Something happened. And I heard the attack in the air before the, how do you say, the alert comes. And it was horrible. Because, why? Because if this is the airplanes which are going for an attack, air raid is something else. They're just hiking off. So you have the natural sound of an airplane. Even if it's a jet, it's natural sound. It was so violent. It was planned to kill. They were shooting 10 rockets at Haifa. Haifa area and the bay is like 500,000 residents. Saturday night. Split of a second before, I looked at this ladder of lights reflected from the blinds, and people were speaking like natural life. This is appearance of different shades, and people speaking the sound. Doesn't matter the words, but the sound of living people. And split of a second after this one was horrible experience. But you go out of the room, you drink something, you just put yourself together, try to see what happened, how many rockets, no injuries, so on. And then Andre went to his study, to his room, and I was sitting here, and I took the guitar. And I don't know, the guitar was on my lap, and also the laptop. And I play something is coming. I don't know even what's happening. I didn't know what's going on, because, like Yanis says, every moment is a new creation. Yes, Yanis. Who knows that we shall survive this attack? So, sitting with the guitar, and something is coming, and sitting with the laptop on the other side. The guitar is on the left, and the right hand is playing, and it comes with words, and I open the laptop and writes in Nakdan. Nakdan is a software that immediately puts Nikud. Nikud is the pronunciation in the Hebrew letters, because there's no vowels. So it just comes, and I just see the fingers typing, yes. And came a poem with 8 verses about Joseph. Yes, in Latin, milonga para Joseph, Jose, milonga para Joseph. So, like a ballad about Joseph. Where does it come from? It came with the guitar. I mean, the tune and the words were coming together few moments after this horrible, horrible attack. Once the poem was ready, I posted it in the Hebrew, poetry blog. And I sat with the guitar, recorded first version, and I sent it to friends here. And it was just to answer Yannis' question, every moment is creation. Who there is a blessing, Yannis, in the Hebrew tradition. Bless he that every moment renews the creation. That renews the deeds of creation. מחדש, yeah? ברוך אתה, תתתם, מחדש מעשה בראשית. To renew the creation by breath, by giving us breath. It's not for granted. So again, and this is non-duality. So who sends the rocket? We can say, yes, there is a hostile organization in Lebanon sends the rocket, but also the poem, where does it come from? The lyrics, 8 verses, 8, each verse is 4 lines, 32 lines of a poem in a split of a second. Where did they come from? With the music, from the same source that also sends the rocket. Those are not two. Those are not two. It says, Ani Havaya, I am being, Lo Shaniti. I'm not two. I'm not changed. And you see, there was horrified attack, and the next moment, this one came. So I sat with the guitar and recorded a demo version on Audacity. It's not perfect, it's a demo, because you don't know if you will continue to live the next moment. There is no guarantees. So I recorded a demo and I sent it to friends, like that they will have a copy, a version that it will be safe in their hands, because we don't know what will happen in the next moment. It's also to show us that there is this moment and there's a poem moment. And both are coming together. Yes, Abigail. How can it be any different? The one who gives us the breath to inhale and to write something is the one that also gives them breath to shoot. Yes. In a way, this is interesting also, Rodrigo, about there were 10 rockets sent and 10 brothers sold Joseph. Only today I realized that Andre came and says, I'm reading 10 rockets were sent to Haifa. And only today it just came to me. Yes. It's not for granted that we are breathing every moment. It's not for granted. And there is no sense of identity. Nothing is personal. But when you hear such attack, the body, the signals that come, they're up to get you. They want to kill you. This is something that I have never heard before. And I hope I will never hear also. We don't listen to music at home because there's all the time tension in the air to see what's going on, you know. So if we listen to music, it's just for a few moments under, And if something comes, we lower a bit of volume to see what's happening in the surrounding. Was just a little example, and I hope it's understood. So I would like to thank each and every one of you for participating in this beautiful session, and to wish you a very beautiful week and a beautiful world to live in and discover the mystery. And we are, yes, we are our greatest mystery. We are. Remember that. Thank you so much. Wishing you a very good week. Toda. And see you soon on Thursday. Shalom, shalom.